What's up YouTube family, it's Brandon here, back with another video, and if you saw the title, today I'm going to show you why everything that you've been told, popular opinion about how much it costs to start selling on Amazon is false. Everything, we're gonna expose everything right now in this video, and I'm gonna walk you through it step by step. So get some popcorn, get some food, do whatever you need to do, and then come down, sit down and focus. I'm gonna show you the exact breakdown of why a lot of the numbers that people are saying is achievable is not achievable, and what is achievable. What do you need to be thinking? What should you be focusing on if you're going to try to build a successful, legitimate business selling products on Amazon? So let's go. All right, so before we get into this, I want to tell you that the opportunity to sell and start a legitimate business on Amazon is massive. The opportunity to build a portfolio of products that consistently sell and produce revenue for you every month after month, where you're working from home and all you have to do is manage it once it's been launched and released. That is a massive, massive opportunity, and it's changing many, many people's lives. So make sure that you understand that. However, our goal is to build a long-term, sustainable, and legitimate business on Amazon, not just to sell fad products, not just to sell pieces of garbage. We want to sell high quality products, and we need to have a high quality plan to launch our products. And it's a lot more, there's a lot more to it than a lot of people talk about. And so I'm going to kind of release to you, a lot of my students already know this, but I'm going to release this all on YouTube and show you why a lot of the people a lot of the numbers that people are putting out there are false, completely fraudulent, and not accurate numbers on what it would cost to start your Amazon business. So let's start from the very beginning. How much capital do you need to start on Amazon? So what we're looking for here is we have a couple things. We want to know our total product cost. So this is going to be the cost. When I say total, I mean how much does it cost to create the product and how much does it cost to ship the product. That's what I mean. How much does it cost to get that product to Amazon's fulfillment center? Next is calculate when inventory will run out and reorder. So when you're trying to think, okay, how much does it cost to start an Amazon product, you also have to be thinking in the back of your mind, how much money am I going to need when my products start to sell and I'm running out of inventory? How much do I need capital, more capital, because you're going to need money to start your product. Then you're going to also need money to do a reorder, okay? And so you want to calculate how much is it going to cost for that and make sure that you have enough lead time in between getting the product created and shipped to Amazon, where you're not going to run out of inventory, because it's going to be detrimental to your business if you lose rank because you ran out of inventory as a new seller. You don't have a lot of history, and so your rank's going to completely plummet. So long story short, next thing is going to be products vary in cost and shipping. And so it's going to be depending on what type of product that you use. So like say there's a product that that creates $4, another product that you create $7. What we're going to go over in this video right now is going to vary depending on what product you actually go with. How big is it? How much does it weigh? How much does it cost to create? What kind of shipping are you doing? Because there's multiple methods of shipping that some of them are easier and more expensive, and some of them are a little bit more complex and not so much expensive. And so that's another thing you got to consider. And the last thing is going to be advertising. You cannot sell a product on Amazon in the current Amazon landscape without running PPC ads aggressively from day one. And so how much do you need to set aside for your budget on that? There's a lot of information out there that is not covering how much you need to advertise your product, in addition to getting the product created and getting it shipped and putting your labels on it and getting your barcodes and getting your logo and paying for software. So we're gonna go through that right now, kind of step by step. So cost simplified. I got this as simple as possible. Product cost, unit. Okay, so number one, this is the unit if lead time is quick. Okay, so how many units do you need to purchase or for your first order of inventory? So I personally suggest 200 to 300 units as long as your lead time is quick. And so what this means is if your manufacturer can create your product fast, relatively fast, it's not going to take months to create it, 45 days to create it. They can make it in a couple weeks, and if they can get it shipped to you by air very, very quickly, then that is something that is where you're only going to really need. You can order a smaller amount of inventory because you can refurb it or replenish your inventory quicker. Now, if the best number for the amount of units that you need is 500 or more. So this is going to be completely dependent on how much money you have to start your Amazon business, because a lot of people, if it's $4 a unit and you do 500 units, that's way more expensive than if you just did 200 units at $4 a unit. And so that's what you're going to have to kind of keep in mind and figure out the best, safest number so that you have some really good lead time in between. When you obtain rank, you're making sales, and then you need to reorder in time to get more inventory, is usually around 500 units. So if you get 500 units of your product, that right there, that one cost right there, could potentially be thousands and thousands of dollars. Not just $1,000, not just $2,000. It's going to completely depend on the product, but the safest thing to do is 500. Yes, you can do 200, you can do 300. So ideal is 500 units at $4 each is going to be $2,000. You know what I'm saying? So if it's going to cost you $4 to create this, now there's strategies to negotiate with the manufacturer and get this price right here reduced. So maybe it's $3.50. Well, guess what? We just saved off a few $100 right there if we can get that a little bit cheaper. Maybe you find out that, look, that product can get created quick. They can ship it quick. Then your units, your ideal units could go down. It could go down to 400, 300, or 200 units. You do some little negotiating here, you get this down to $3, and now you're getting a little bit lower of a product cost. And so that's a way that you could start your first product. There's no generic answer. If people are giving generic answers on how much it costs to start a product on Amazon, that's false. There's no way to give you a basic flat line. It's going to be completely different based on the products that you're choosing. Some products cost more to create. Some products, it's going to take longer to create it, and so your lead time's a lot longer. And so that's kind of what you need to be thinking about. Next is shipping cost. In this example, we're going to say that we're going to order 500 units and it's $2 each to ship them. That's another $1,000. So just in product cost in this example, which is a realistic example, is $3,000 in product cost. Okay, and that's literally just getting the product created and shipped to Amazon. That's it. Okay, so one of the other things you could think about is higher price products, and maybe they're selling at lower volume. So you're not selling tons and tons and tons and tons a day, but they are higher price point products and you got good margin on them, then you could get away with selling less, purchasing less of your initial order. So you could go with 200 to 300 units, but the ultimate determining factor is going to be lead time. How long does it take to get that product created and then shipped to Amazon? And you want to make sure you do not run out of inventory before your products get to Amazon, because you're a new seller and you don't have a lot of history. Amazon your sales rank is based on history. And so you want to make sure that you don't, at all costs, don't lose your sales rank. Next is going to be software. So this is our hypothetical situation. The next thing you're going to consider is software. We have Jungle Scout Chrome extension. This is an absolute, in my opinion, nowadays in the current Amazon landscape, because Amazon changes, guys. Over the last few years, it's been different and it continues to change. They had major changes last February. So things change, but right now, the best software, in my opinion, is Jungle Scout Chrome extension. That is the best thing that you could do. It's $97, and it just makes your life way easier and you can more quickly analyze the data. Now, yes, Jungle Scout Chrome extension can be off. Some of the numbers can be skewed, and so there's backup plans on how to verify the data that you're getting from a Jungle Scout Chrome extension, where you can verify, hey, this seller is selling this many units per day. Jungle Scout says the same thing. Jungle Scout data is accurate. You see what I'm saying? But for most people, and I think that pretty much I would recommend it to everybody, you should get Jungle Scout Chrome extension. The web app, it's another tool that you can pay for. The web app is a software that it's not required, but it can help you find products. It could be an initial way to it's like a funnel when you first start at the top, and you're kind of looking at all different kinds of products, and then you're slowly eliminating different products and product categories, and you're kind of looking at what Amazon recommends, and you're looking at what other people bought that are like that product, or people who bought a particular product, what other products did they buy with it. This is a program that can help start that journey of product selection, and so it's optional. You do not have to purchase that. But in this example, we're going to assume that you're purchasing both of these so we can add that into our total cost. Next is Amazon seller account. So you have to sign up for a professional account from the very beginning. So that's going to be $39 a month. And so we're going to go based off of, I think I only added 1 month in here, but we could maybe count maybe a couple months, because it's going to take, a couple months here to really start, probably 2 or 3 months to really start seeing some major results. And so Next is logo and barcodes. So we have, for logo, you can get a logo created from Fiverr.com for $25. So that's another expense. It's just a one-time expense. Now, can you get a much nicer, much more high quality logo for $1,000 or for $100? That's going to dramatically affect and dramatically change how much it costs to start this Amazon business, because we don't want to run this as just Amazon sellers. We're building a long-term, legitimate, sustainable business, and we're following Amazon's rules, and we're building a massive brand that hopefully we can sell someday, or we can just continue to profit from and make semi-passive income from. Long story short, once your product's launched and released, the maintenance on this is extremely, extremely low. All you're doing is continuing to optimize your keywords. You're keeping an eye on the landscape of your competition, keeping an eye on your price, and your reorder and inventory. That's it. And that's things that can be done in 30 minutes, very, very quick throughout the week. And so once you launch it, the freedom that you'll get from selling products on Amazon is unbelievable. But it takes the initial work, the initial research and planning and adding all the numbers up to make sure that you're going to be starting your business with a long-term, sustainable, scalable business. And so next is going to be logos and barcodes. So you can spend $25 to $1,000 getting a label, a logo created for your products, and that's going to dramatically affect how much it costs for you to actually get your product up and going, because you're adding a lot more startup costs to your overall business model. The other thing is barcodes. If you're going to purchase a barcode, Amazon requires GS1 originated barcodes. And so what does that mean? Well, if you want to be extremely super concerned, you can buy barcodes from GS1s directly, but it's going to cost you at least $300. Or you can buy a $5 barcode from Barcode Mania, which originated from GS1, but they're a wholesaler just selling it, and run the risk potentially of Amazon flagging it. But there really is no risk, because like 90%, potentially right around 90% of Amazon sellers are using barcodes that they did not buy from GS1. And it doesn't make sense for Amazon to officially ban everybody because you haven't spent $300 to buy a legitimate GS1 barcode registered to your business, instead of buying a Speedy barcodes for $5. And so you can buy a $5 barcode, and that's what we're going to do in this video. Advertising and PPC. So this is huge. This is like the cream of the crop. It's the most important thing probably in this video. Number one is you have to run an automatic PPC campaign when you're starting your first product on Amazon. And there's so many reasons for this. The main primary reason is that you used to be able to combine PPC with doing giveaways, tons and tons of giveaways in exchange to boost your sales rank and to get reviews. However, this was years ago, and this no longer is as effective, and it technically could be against the rules if you don't do it right. What you want to do is immediately, right from the very beginning, you want to start at least one campaign on automatic. And the reason why is because Amazon they have an algorithm where they're going to try and find out, based on your listing, what is going to be the best search terms for your product to rank on, so that you're at the top page of Amazon, and you're paying your way, you're paying to play, you're paying to get your product up top, so you start to make sales organically. And this is what you have to do from the very beginning. Amazon's going to send you the data. They're going to show you what keywords did best for your product a few days later, and then you have a lot of powerful data that you can use to fine-tune and tweak, where you're only advertising the best keywords, the best phrases to sell as many products as possible with your Amazon listing. So from the very beginning, you have to do automatic campaigns, and you need to be doing at least $30 minimum a day. Now, this is where it kind of is at a breaking point potentially for many people, because if your budget can support it, you should go for $100 a day, okay? Or if you want to be a little more conservative and kind of feel it out, $30 a day minimum. Now, what this means is, okay, how long are you going to have to pay $30 a day? Well, this is the thought process that you should have behind paying $30 a day. What you should do is literally right when you start listing, you can list a product for sale, start doing PPC, and if your listing is a very good listing and it converts well, you're going to begin to make sales. Whether or not you have reviews, you will begin to make sales. Now, there's strategies to get reviews and still follow Amazon's terms of service. There's also gray areas of ways that you can get reviews to kind of expedite the review process. But long story short, you need to do $30 a day. Now, say for instance, you're selling a product that's $40, okay, on Amazon. And you say for instance, after all your expenses and everything, you're gonna make 15 bucks, or let's do easy math in this situation. Let's just say 10 bucks. You're gonna make 10 bucks per product that you sell, and it's a $40 product profit. Now, if you do PPC for $30 a day and you sell 3 products because you did the $30 a day PPC, you broke even. And what you've done is you've made 3 sales. Now you have legitimate customers. You have a pool of legitimate people who've already bought your product that you can get reviews from by following up with them by email later. So instead of, so that is gonna help you get legitimate reviews, and then it's also so that's how that budget works. I don't wanna go off in a tangent, but that's how that budget works is, you wanna make sure that you're going to either spend $30 a day and make that money back and break even, or maybe even at a loss for a few days until it starts to kind of gain rank and you're making some sales. But if it doesn't, then you have to cancel it. You see what I'm saying? So and if it doesn't, you have a conversion problem, and you need to look at your listing and find out why. What is not resonating with people, and what is not resonating with your back-end keywords where you're not getting those sales. And so ultimately, long story short, that's kind of the thought process that you need to have. So say for instance you're paying $30 a day. Well, how much money is that going to end up being? Because that could be for years, And so what does that mean? Well, I suggest to at least calculate 1 month, at least in PPC amount of income that you can put in. Now, this is where it gets kind of tricky, because if you need to up your budget and you only have $30 a day budgeted in your budget for your product, then you're going to completely run out of money, and you're going to stop PPC, before you need to stop PPC. And so, long story short, that's something that you're going to have to kind of consider, but I would definitely get at least minimum 1 month, maybe even 3 months of money for your PPC campaign. So next is we want to have an inspection company potentially inspect our products. We need product photos, and we need product samples. So if you're going to have an inspection company inspect your products, this is an option for you to do. I do not recommend it or suggest it. I don't think that most people need this, but it is definitely something that you can have done, and you can pay a private inspection company. Their fees are going to range, and then they can inspect your inventory in the other country that your inventory is being created in, and then give you a report on how your inventory is doing. Now, product photos though, you do need good product photos, and so if you can't take these photos yourself, you can technically take your photos yourself, but do you want to have a ultimate high quality, amazing listing, okay, with amazing photos? Or do you want to risk having subpar photos that you took yourself and had them edited on Fiverr for free and then for like 10 bucks? Or do you want to spend $75 and get professional photos with a professional backdrop? It looks as high quality as all the top sellers on Amazon. So you're going to have to make that decision as a business owner and kind of figure out what do you think, is going to be the best decision for you long term. Maybe you start out with the cheaper photos and then maybe you add the more expensive photos later. If in this situation, we're going to assume that you're going for the more expensive photos. And so I'm going to put on here, and I didn't add this in earlier, but I'm going to put that in here, $75 for some product photos. So what that means is you're going to ship a sample or you're going to do a removal order to your product photographer, and they're going to send you photos of that product once they get it and they take the photos of it. Next is going to be samples. So you do need to order a product sample. It's not required, but as a legitimate, long-term, sustainable business owner that you're about to be, you want to make sure you have really good quality products. And getting good quality products has multiple benefits. You have to, number one, it's going to help you get reviews, and your reviews is going to help you get more sales long-term. So that's something that's obviously pretty huge. Next is you want to have a high quality, legitimate product that people want to purchase and they're glad they purchased it. And so how can you bet, what's the best way to do this? Well, it's going to be once you've eliminated your suppliers down a funnel into your top 3 suppliers, order samples from them. Your samples cost is going to be potentially as cheap as like 30 bucks to as high as 150 bucks, but it's probably going to be more in the range of $25 to $75. And you're going to be able to get your samples. So say for instance you do this the best way, there's not necessarily a right way or a wrong way, but the best, most ideal way. Say for instance your samples are $60 each times 3, you're spending an extra $180 on samples. So photos and then $180 on samples. Now again, this is not required. You don't have to get $75 photos. You don't have to get $180 3 different samples. but this is gonna help you from the very beginning, make you have the best possible chance of succeeding at Amazon on your very first product. And this is some of the lessons that you'll learn if you fail and your first product doesn't work out. Many of the things I just covered in this video, and I'm gonna show you some more stuff, is part of why you may have failed on your first product. And so don't get discouraged. You may take the second product. Everybody who's watching this video is lucky to discover the opportunity of selling on Amazon before it becomes just something that's just way too hard to get into, and you're learning from my mistakes and others' mistakes. And so, long story short, $75 photos, $180 in samples, because you're getting 3 samples, is your potential cost. All right, so let's look at the total cost once we break everything down. And so this is gonna be a hypothetical product. There are cheaper products. This is kind of to give you guys a little bit more of a top end and realistic example, because this was the #1 question from my students, the #1 question from people who are starting on Amazon, considering to start. And the #1 thing that just is so, it's just not clearly broken down like this with a full comprehensive breakdown. And mainly it's because this kind of information is in people's courses. It's not public information you're gonna put on YouTube. This is like the ultimate high-end information, the best information that you can get, which is usually paid information. But I'm gonna give it to you guys for free in this video, and I hope this is super helpful for you. So let's look at this thing. $3,000 in product cost. That means the shipping and product creation was $3,000, okay? Now I have an estimated $307 for software, logos, and Amazon fees. So I put 3 months in there. So this is 3 months of the Jungle Scout web app. This is 3 months of Amazon's seller account for $39.99. It is the Jungle Scout Chrome extension, and then it's our logo for $25. So adding all that together is $307. So that kind of gives you some wiggle room of about 3 months, you know, so make sure you have enough budget for that 3 months. And then PPC, and this is only 1 month of PPC. So say for instance, you know, you start your PPC right at the minimum budget of $30 a day, and your product continues to work and it's doing well, and you did not put more money down into it, then at minimum you're gonna need $900 for the first month of PPC. So if we add all this up, what this ends up being is it's $300 plus $900 plus 200 or 307, which equals $4,207. And so this is going to be a comfortable and a realistic and a long-term, sustainable, long-term best, you know, everything you're doing, everything based on the long term, other than the PPC. I would actually allocate even more money than that for your PPC. And so this is how you should be looking at your business, and these are kind of the pieces to the puzzle. If you do giveaways, that's also going to be cutting into your cost, but you don't need giveaways to launch a product. The best way is PPC. But what if you do, in addition to this, what if you do Facebook ads to push extra traffic to your product? I would not suggest this as a beginner. I think this is only PPC is really the main thing that you need, and to make sure you have a good listing. But these are additional amounts of income that you're gonna need to kind of help launch and support this. And so this could be as high as $10,000 to start your first product. This could also be as low as $2,000 to start your first product. And so I think the absolute bare minimum in the current Amazon landscape, and you used to be able to start products for less than $1,000, right at $1,000. It's just so far-fetched now that you would need a minimum of $2,000 or more. In this case, which is a pretty good case, multiple students are running almost this very similar scenario that are killing it right now. They took them about $4,500 to start on their first product, but they did it the right way, long-term, and it's a sustainable long-term way to set this up. And so hopefully this has been helpful for you. Long story short, my next video, I'm just getting started. This second one, part 2 to this video, is gonna be another thing that we're gonna expose that no one's talking about, and everybody's kind of just acting like it's, you know, this is how you do it, and it's really not how you do it, and it's not the right way to do it. And we're gonna show it to you in the very next video. So if you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check it out on the next video. Amazon's an amazing opportunity, and it can absolutely change your life forever, but you wanna do this right the first time. You don't wanna make mistakes on your first product. And if you wanna save as much money as possible, save as much time as possible, you need to know things like this information I share with you. And you don't wanna miss the next video that's gonna be coming out probably tomorrow or the next day. So that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.